Right, yo guys, what's going on? Welcome to Game Week 22 predictions. Today I'm joined by Rafe, Hunter and Ramel. Quickly update you on the overall scores from the last two game weeks. Rafe's on 7 points, Hunter's on 3, I'm on 11, Ramel's on 16 and Brian is on 15. So we're going to start with the Sheffield game. In this game, I think it's going to be quite an entertaining game. One team's made good signs. Sheffield's also in quite good form. I think this will be 2-2. And then I'm going to go to the Wolves game. I think this game is going to be 3-1 to Arsenal. Wolves are just really not been great recently. They're in risk of going into a relegation battle. But no, I don't think Wolves have been great recently. They need to improve. I think Arsenal 3-1 win. And going on to the United game, I think they're going to beat Southampton 3-1. Southampton obviously they've got really big injury problems at the moment. Having got a full-on right back, I just think United will quite easily power through this game. And last one of mine for now, I'm going to say Newcastle Palace 1-1. I think it's going to be quite. It could be a boring game, and it could be quite good. But yeah, Rafe.
Okay, so as Matty said, I've had a shocking start, so I need to have a big week. So I'm going to kick off Sheffield West Brom. I think it has potential to be a decent game. Obviously West Brom had a great window, as Matty said. I'm going to go 1-1 because Sheffield have been on okay form. Came close against City, probably should have got a point. Move on to Wolves Arsenal. Wolves been struggling for goals. I'm not sure about Willian Jose. I don't know how good he's going to be. So for that reason, I'm going to put 2-0 because I don't know a lot about him and I don't know if he's who they need. And then Man United Southampton. Obviously Southampton going to be playing United without a right back, so I can see us getting a point because United have been struggling recently. But I still think United will snatch it purely because of Southampton's injuries. So I'm going to go 2-1. And then finally Newcastle Palace, probably the worst game of the week. I'm hoping to see Mateta will start for Palace, but I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-1 game. And we're moving on to Hunter now for his game week predictions for the first four.
Well, I kind of do agree. I think the Sheffield West Brom game will be one of, if not the best games of the week. So I'm thinking 3-3, goals at either end. Wolves Arsenal. I think Nuno Espirito Santos needs to do something. They're really close to relegation zone. Well, yeah, they do have Raul Jimenez injured, but I think this will be the return. I think 2-1 win, and I can see Arsenal going back into their slump again. Manchester United, Southampton. This is a tricky one for me. I want to say it's going to be 2-2, just because Southampton, yes, they did acquire Minamino. I don't know if he will start or not, but I don't. United, they're coming off their defeat from Sheffield, and they haven't been to their, first week of January standard. So I'm inclined to think that they will drop points here again. And Newcastle Palace, I think it's going to be a boring game. One goal from Wilfred Zaha Hazard to cut it through, and I think Palace will win 1-0. We move to Ramel now. Ramel, are you on?
Yep. So for the Sheffield against West Brom game, I think it's going to be quite a dry game, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be 1-0 to West Brom just because West Brom got some new players in the window, been in all right form. Don't think Sheffield have enough goals in them to do anything to them. For Wolves against Arsenal, I'm going to go for 2-1 to Arsenal just because Arsenal have been in decent form. Wolves, not so much, and I think Arsenal have got the quality to get past them and beat them 2-1. Man United against Southampton now. I think both teams haven't been in the best form in terms of their standards, and I think that it could go either way. But I'm going to say 2-1 to United just because they're at home and they could have the quality to be able to just edge it over Southampton. And then for Newcastle against Crystal Palace, I'm going to say 1-0 to Palace. Pretty dry game, but they've been in okay form. And Newcastle, don't think that they're going to be able to edge it. Not really been good enough for me. And move on to Matty.
Yep. So I've got Burnley Crystal Palace now. No, sorry, Burnley Man City. I think Burnley to win. Not Burnley to lose 2-0. It's quite simple. Then we're going to go to Leicester Fulham. I think this is going to be. I actually think this could be quite decent game either way. I've gone for 3-0 Leicester, but I could easily see Fulham getting a goal or two, but I do think Leicester will batter them 3-0. Leeds Everton, I put 2-1 to Everton. Yeah, either team could do well here. Leeds have been playing alright recently, but Everton is just going to beat them out 2-1. Burnley City, Riff.
So I think Burnley, they got that one against Liverpool and then another one against Villa, but then they looked awful against Chelsea, which was a pretty routine win for the new Chelsea manager at the weekend. And I think Man City struggled to break down Sheffield, and Burnley play a similar style. I'm going to go 2-0 City. And then moving on, we have the Fulham Leicester game. Both teams struggled to score at the minute. I think Josh Meyer could add some goals to Fulham. Leicester, I don't think signed anyone on deadline day. I might stand mistaken, but I think Leicester are struggling for goals. I'm going to go a 1-1 draw. And then Leeds Everton. Could be goals in this game. I'm going to go 2-1 win for Leeds. Everton have looked poor recently. Leeds obviously got a big win at the weekend. And moving on to Hunter.
Yeah, so the Burnley City game at Turf Moor. I think it's going to be a happy place for Manchester City. I think 2-0 routine win. I don't really see Burnley pulling off an upset here. Fulham Leicester, I think Leicester have been poor, but I don't back Scott Parker's men this time. I think it's going to be 1-0 to Leicester. Small win, but it's going to be 3 points on the board for the European challenge. Champions League challenge, should I say. And the Leeds Everton game, well, I think this will be the second most exciting game of the week. 3-2 to Everton. I think Richarlison will come good this week, I hope. We go to Ramel now. Ramel?
Yeah, so I think for the Burnley City game, I think Man City, they did find it hard in their last game against Sheffield to break them down, but I think against Burnley, they can beat them 2-0 because Burnley, pretty much, sorry, it's their Man City 2 goals. Fulham against Leicester, I think Leicester have got enough quality to beat them 2-1. I think Fulham will get a goal, but I think Leicester eventually will edge the game. And Leeds against Fulham, I think they've been a bit weird in terms of form because they're good teams, been in okay form, quite inconsistent. I think for me, this game just screams 2-2. I think there's going to be goals in it. I think it's going to be an interesting game. And on to Matty.
Right, so we've got Aston Villa West Ham here. Both two very good teams in a Europa League race at the minute. I think this will only be 2-2. I think this will again be one of the most entertaining games of the weekend. Two good defences, two good attacks. I just think this game will be 2-2. Quite entertaining. Then we're going to go to Liverpool Brighton. I think this game will be 2-0 Liverpool. Quite a simple and boring game, to be honest. Liverpool's quality is just going to out-edge Brighton, and Brighton are in high danger of going down at this race, but I think Liverpool will win 2-0. And now we've got the big game, Spurs-Chelsea, the big game of the weekend. I am going to say hugely here, Spurs have been terrible recently and they've got no Harry Kane. I'm going to say Spurs 0, Chelsea 3. Rafe?
Statement from Matty there. Okay. So obviously, at the weekend we saw Aston Villa rob Southampton. So in my opinion, with the refs on their side, I'm going to go 2-1 Aston Villa win. And then Liverpool-Brighton. Matty said Brighton in a relegation battle. I think they will stay up. They got a big win against Tottenham at the weekend. Don't think they'll beat Liverpool though. Liverpool have looked great recently. I'm going to go a 2-0 Liverpool win. And then finally, Spurs-Chelsea. Always a good game. I think Spurs will not win, as Matty said, be on poor form. I think they'll get a goal though, and I don't think it will be by 3. Chelsea won't win by 3. I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea win. I think they got their confidence up against Burnley, so I see them winning this game. Hunter, what do you have to see?
Right, the Aston Villa West Ham game, you have to take in the fact that now that they can play their new signing or loanee, Jesse Lingard, I think this will be, a walk in the park for them. I think it's going to be 3-1 Lingard double. I think he's going to start making his claim for the Euros team.
Oh, fucking hell.
Then the Liverpool-Brighton game. Brighton, they beat Spurs. They're looking good. I do expect them to score 2 on the night, but Liverpool, again, the quality, Mane, Salah, 4-2 to Liverpool. And the Spurs-Chelsea game, critical thing being it's not at the Bridge. And Spurs, are White Hart Lane. They're going to be a different beast. So I think it's going to be 2-2. It's the start for the comeback for Jose Mourinho and the Spurs, even though without Kane. But yeah, Ramel, there you go, man.
So I think for me, Aston Villa against West Ham. I think West Ham been in decent form, but so have Aston Villa. I think West Ham can edge it 2-1. I think Aston Villa will get a goal, but I think West Ham been doing really well recently. Liverpool against Brighton at Anfield. That is a big game for Brighton and for Liverpool in terms of the title race. I think Liverpool are going to beat them 3-2. I think Brighton have a few goals in them after what they did to Spurs. But I think that Liverpool will be able to edge it. They've got a lot of quality. They've been playing well. Spurs against Chelsea. I think it's going to be 1-0 to Chelsea just because Spurs play a boring style of football. They will sit back for the whole game. I think Chelsea will get 1 goal, and I just think Chelsea after that will probably just not let Spurs through after that. So yeah, 0-0.
Right, so there's everyone's predictions for this video. Some very bold predictions from certain people.
You included, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say. I'll say the 2 big ones are me saying Chelsea 3-0 and West Ham 3-1.
3-0. Jesus.
I think 2 very big predictions there. We're going to end it here, and we will see you for game week 23. See how the scores add up then.